What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you love cruising or you're just curious about what really happens behind the scenes, you're in the perfect place. Today, we're diving into the secrets cruise stewards wish every guest knew. I literally traveled across the country, hopped on multiple ships, and sat down with real cabin stewards from all over the world, just to get the inside scoop for you. These are the stories and tips you won't hear anywhere else. Watching stewards quietly work their magic while everyone else is out having fun made me realize just how hard they work and how much goes unnoticed. So I started asking questions. What do stewards wish every passenger knew? What are the little things that make their day or drive them crazy? The answers I got were wild, honest, and sometimes hilarious. From secret tips about tipping to the one thing you can do that will make your steward's entire week, to the surprising power of a simple thank you note. This video has it all. You'll hear about the guests who get remembered for all the right reasons, the tiny gestures that make a steward's day, and even a few confessions, like what really happens if you leave your room a total mess. And this isn't just about what stewards do for you, it's about how you can make their lives better too. I've got 14 insider tips, plus a few bonus stories that will change how you cruise forever. So grab your notepad, hit that subscribe button, and stick around, because these secrets will make you the guest every steward secretly loves. Ready? Let's jump right into the first tip. Ready for the first secret? Let's dive into tip #1. This is the single most powerful thing you can do to make your steward's day every day. It's not just about money, it's about making a real connection, one small gesture at a time. I've heard so many stories from stewards about how a simple daily tip can turn their whole week around. One steward, Maria, told me, "When a guest leaves even $1 and a thank you note each morning, it feels like I'm seen as a real person, not just part of the background." She said those small tips made her feel valued, especially on tough days when she missed her family. Another steward, Raj, shared, "Sometimes I use that daily tip to buy a treat on board or to top up my phone so I can video chat with my family back home." For many stewards, these daily tips help them buy snacks, call home, or even send a little extra money to their kids. It's not just about the cash, it's about feeling appreciated. I even heard about a guest who left a small origami crane with their tip every morning. The steward said, "It made me smile every time. I kept them all lined up on my shelf." Creative gestures like that show you care and make a lasting impression. Here's a practical example. Sarah, a frequent cruiser, told me, "We started leaving a couple of dollars and a thank you note every morning. By the third day, our steward greeted us by name and left extra chocolates on our pillows." It's not just about the money, it's about building a real connection. Stewards remember guests who do this. You might get towel animals, a little surprise on your pillow, or just an extra warm smile in the hallway. It's the kind of gesture that makes your trip memorable for both you and your steward. And here's the real difference. A big tip at the end is nice, but it's easy to forget. Daily tips build a real connection. You become the awesome guest in 512, not just another face. One steward told me, "I always remember the guests who take the time to say thank you every day." Plus, daily tips help stewards manage their own daily expenses. Sometimes they need cash for essentials on board or to send money home right away. That little bit each day makes a huge difference, especially for stewards supporting families far away. Here's a pro tip. Before your trip, set aside a stack of small bills or envelopes. Each morning, leave a tip and a note. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just a sticky note that says, "Thank you, Maria," goes a long way. Watch how your steward's smile gets bigger every day. Mark, another guest, shared, "I used to tip only at the end, but after trying daily tips, I noticed my steward was always cheerful and even left us a handwritten note on our last day. It felt like we were friends, not just guests." It's a small gesture for you, but for them, it's a massive deal. You're not just giving money, you're giving respect, kindness, and a little piece of home. For many stewards, these moments are what keep them motivated through long months at sea. Daily tips are the secret handshake of cruise culture. Try it once, and you'll never go back. You'll make your steward's day, and you'll feel the difference in your own cruise experience. Guaranteed. It's the easiest way to spread kindness at sea. Ready for tip #2? Let's dive in. This one's a total game changer for you and your steward. Tip number 2 is a total game changer, keeping your cabin even a little bit tidy. I asked a bunch of stewards about their biggest daily challenges, and every single one said, "Messy rooms slow us down more than anything else." One steward told me, "Sometimes I walk into a cabin and it looks like a tornado hit. Clothes everywhere, food wrappers on the desk, wet towels in a pile. It can take twice as long to clean and I worry I'll miss something important." Another said, "If I'm running behind because of one messy room, it throws off my whole schedule for the day." Imagine having to deep clean a room in 15 minutes, but spending half that time just picking up after guests. To really show you the difference, check this out. Here's a messy cabin before cleaning. Clothes on the floor, shoes everywhere, trash on the desk. Now, here's the same cabin after a quick tidy up. Everything in its place, surfaces clear, towels hung up. Stewards say this transformation makes their job so much easier and lets them focus on making your room sparkle. Now, imagine the opposite. Another steward described a guest who always put dirty clothes in a laundry bag, kept shoes lined up, and tossed trash in the bin. "I can clean that room in 10 minutes flat," he said, "and it puts me in a great mood for the rest of my shift." A guest I spoke to said, "We always try to keep our stuff organized. Our steward thanked us and even left us extra towel animals." Another guest told me, "We brought a foldable laundry bag and a few packing cubes. Our room stayed neat and we never lost anything." Stewards say that organized guests are their favorites. "When I see a tidy room, I feel respected and motivated to go the extra mile," one said. That's when you get those little surprises, like extra chocolates, towel animals, or a handwritten thank you note from your steward. Here's how you can make your steward's day. Step 1. Use the drawers and closet for your clothes. Step 2. Put trash in the can, not on the desk. Step 3. Keep your shoes together and out of the walkway. Step 4. Hang up wet towels or put them in one spot. Even just stacking your belongings neatly on one side of the room helps a ton. Some guests even bring a small laundry bag or organizer to keep things tidy. These small habits save your steward precious minutes and make your cabin feel more like home. Why does this matter? When you keep your cabin organized, you're giving your steward the gift of time. That means they can focus on deep cleaning, sanitizing surfaces, changing linens, and making sure everything is perfect for you. Plus, a tidy room actually boosts your steward's morale. They feel respected and appreciated, and it motivates them to go the extra mile for you. One steward said, "When guests care about the space, I want to do my very best for them." Another added, "A tidy room means I can finish on time and maybe even call my family during my break." And here's something you might not realize. A tidy room actually helps you too. You'll find your belongings faster, have more space to relax, and enjoy a fresher, more comfortable cabin. Guests who keep things organized say it makes their whole cruise feel less stressful. One guest told me, "We started tidying up each morning, and it made our vacation so much more relaxing. Plus, our steward always greeted us with a big smile." So next time you're on a cruise, take a minute each day to tidy up. It's a small effort for you, but a huge help for your steward. And it makes your whole cruise experience better for everyone. Try a before and after. Snap a quick photo of your room at its messiest, then tidy up and see the difference. Your steward will notice and secretly love you for it. Trust me, a little tidiness goes a long way at sea. Ready for the next insider secret? Here comes tip 3. Tip number 3 is one of the most powerful yet most overlooked ways to make your steward's day. Greet them by their name. It sounds simple, but trust me, it's a total game changer. When you use someone's name, you're saying, "I see you, you matter." And for stewards who serve hundreds of guests, that recognition is priceless. Imagine working on a ship with thousands of guests, day in and day out. Most people just see you as the room attendant. But when someone takes the time to look at your name tag and actually say, "Good morning, Maria," or "Thank you, Raj," it's like you suddenly become visible. One steward told me, "When a guest greets me by name, it feels like I'm not invisible anymore. It makes my whole day brighter." I spoke to Anna, a steward, who said, "When a guest remembers my name, I feel like I matter. I'll go out of my way to make sure those guests have everything they need, just because they showed me that little bit of respect." Another steward, Joseph, shared that he once had a family who greeted him by name every morning. On the last day, they left him a thank you note with his name written in big letters. He said he kept that note for years, and it still makes him smile. Guests who use their steward's name often get extra special treatment, like towel animals, surprise chocolates, or just a genuine smile in the hallway. One guest told me, "We made a point to greet our steward, Anna, by name every day. By the end of the cruise, she decorated our room with flowers and left a handwritten note for our kids." That's the power of a simple name. So, how do you remember your steward's name? Here's a pro tip. When you first meet them, repeat their name out loud. "Nice to meet you, Anna," and make a note of it on your phone or a sticky note in your cabin. Some guests snap a quick photo of the name tag with permission or write it on the daily planner. Use their name every time you see them. It'll stick and it'll mean the world to them. When you greet your steward by name, you're not just being polite, you're building a real connection. It's a small gesture that makes a huge difference. You'll notice your steward's face light up, and you might even get a few extra towel animals or special touches in your room. It's the easiest way to show respect, build rapport, and make someone's day brighter, every single day of your trip. Ready for tip number 4? Here it comes. This one is a total game changer. Use the Do Not Disturb sign. It might seem like a tiny detail, but it's actually a huge help for your cabin steward, and for you. That little sign is the key to a smoother, more relaxing cruise for everyone. Here's why. Stewards have a super tight, minute-by-minute schedule. They're responsible for cleaning dozens of rooms, and every minute counts. If you're napping, getting dressed, or just want some privacy, that little sign is your best friend, and theirs. It lets them know exactly when they can work their magic and when to come back later. Imagine this. Your steward comes by, knocks, waits, knocks again, but you're inside, maybe half asleep or in the shower. It's awkward for everyone. They don't want to barge in, and you don't want to be surprised. I've heard stories where stewards have to tiptoe around, hoping not to disturb guests, and it throws off their whole routine. One steward told me, "Sometimes I have to check the same room 3 times because the sign isn't up, but the guest is always inside." On the flip side, guests who use the sign make life so much easier. One steward shared, "When I see the Do Not Disturb sign, I can skip that room and come back later, which keeps my whole schedule on track." It's a simple way to avoid missed cleanings and awkward run-ins. Here's a real story. A guest forgot to use the sign and was startled when the steward walked in while they were changing. Both felt embarrassed, and the steward had to come back later, which threw off the cleaning schedule for the whole hallway. But another guest always used the sign and even left a note saying when they'd be out. The steward said, "That guest made my day so much easier. I could plan my route and finish on time." The best thing you can do? Hang the Do Not Disturb sign whenever you want privacy, and take it down when you're ready for your room to be cleaned. It's a silent way to communicate exactly what you need. No awkward moments, no missed service. If you know you'll be out for a while, take the sign off so your steward can work their magic. Pro tip: if you're staying in, put the sign up. If you're heading out, take it down. And if you want to be extra helpful, let your steward know your usual schedule, like, "I'm out every day from 9 to 11. That way, they can plan ahead and give you the best service possible. So next time you cruise, remember, that little sign is your secret weapon for a happier steward and a happier you. Use it wisely, and you'll help your steward stay on track, avoid awkward moments, and make your cruise experience smooth and stress-free. Ready for the next game-changing tip? Here we go! Tip number 5 is a total game-changer. Let your steward know your preferences right from day one. This isn't just about comfort. It's about making your whole cruise smoother, happier, and way more personal. The best time? When you first meet your steward, take a moment to chat. A friendly conversation at the start sets the tone for your entire trip. Don't be shy. Let your steward know if you like extra pillows, need your ice bucket filled every night, or want more towels than usual. Maybe you have allergies, want your room cleaned at a certain time, or prefer a specific type of soap. One guest I met always asked for extra hangers and a soft blanket. Her steward remembered her every year. The more details you share, the better your steward can make your stay feel like home. Here's why it matters. Stewards told me about guests who requested hypoallergenic bedding, a bowl of fresh fruit every afternoon, or even a birthday surprise for their child. Because these requests were made early, stewards could plan ahead and deliver those special touches, making guests feel like VIPs. One steward said, "When guests tell me what they need on day one, I can make their cruise unforgettable." Stewards love when you're up front. It lets them plan ahead and work your requests into their schedule, instead of scrambling to handle last-minute surprises. One steward told me, "It's so much easier to get a list of requests at the start than to get random notes every day." If you're polite and clear, your steward will go above and beyond to make your cruise amazing. Here's a tip. Write down your preferences before your trip, so you don't forget anything. When you meet your steward, introduce yourself, be friendly, and share your list. If you have a special occasion, like an anniversary or birthday, mention it. Stewards love helping guests celebrate, and a little heads up means they can prepare something extra special. Don't worry about being a bother. Stewards actually appreciate knowing your preferences. It shows you care about their work and trust them to make your stay amazing. Some of the best stories I heard were about guests who took 2 minutes to chat on day one and ended up with little surprises all week, like towel animals, birthday decorations, or even a favorite snack waiting in the room. Early communication makes your steward's job easier and your cruise way more memorable. So next time you board, take a moment to introduce yourself, be friendly, and share what would make your cruise perfect. Be specific, be polite, and don't be afraid to ask questions. You'll be amazed at how much your steward can do when you simply ask, and you'll make their job a whole lot easier too. Tip number 6 is a big one, not just for your steward, but for the entire ship and every guest on board. Reporting maintenance issues right away is one of the most helpful things you can do. Think about it. A small leak, a flickering light, or a weird noise in your cabin might seem minor, but it can quickly turn into a major headache if ignored. I spoke to a steward named Carlos, who told me about a guest who noticed a small drip under the bathroom sink, but didn't say anything. By the end of the cruise, water had seeped through the floor and caused damage to the cabin below. What started as a tiny drip turned into a full-blown repair job for the crew, and a big inconvenience for other guests. Your cabin steward is your first line of defense. They can't fix everything themselves, but they know exactly who to call and how to get things moving fast. The sooner you tell them, the sooner the right team can jump into action. Stewards have a direct line to maintenance and can often get things fixed before they become a real problem. Here's how it works. You mention the issue to your steward. They log it in their system or radio it in, and then the maintenance or engineering crew gets dispatched. Sometimes they can fix things in minutes before it becomes a real problem. I heard from a steward named Priya who said, "When guests tell me right away, I can get help fast. It makes my job so much easier, and guests are always grateful when things are fixed quickly." But if you wait, small problems can get way worse. A running toilet can waste hundreds of gallons of water. A broken safe might mean you can't secure your valuables. And if something electrical is acting up, it could even be a safety risk. One steward told me about a guest who ignored a buzzing outlet. Turns out, it was a wiring issue that could have caused a fire. Stewards told me they'd much rather you bother them with small issues than let things slide. When a problem gets bigger, it reflects poorly on them, and it can disrupt the experience for everyone on your deck. They want to help, and reporting issues quickly actually makes their job easier. So, what should you look out for? Dripping faucets, toilets that won't stop running, lights that flicker, air conditioning that isn't working, or anything that just feels off. If you spot anything, let your steward know right away. You'll make their job easier, help the whole crew, and keep your cruise running smoothly for everyone. Pro tip: if you're not sure whether something is a problem, just ask. Stewards appreciate guests who care about the cabin and the ship. And when you see the repair crew in action, you'll know you did your part to keep everything running smoothly. Trust me, your steward will secretly love you for it. Stewards absolutely love it when you reuse your towels. It might seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference for them and for the planet. Every towel you reuse saves time, energy, and resources, and stewards notice and appreciate it more than you know. Here's how it works. Towels you hang up mean, "I'll use it again." Towels tossed on the floor mean, "Please replace." It's a universal code on cruise ships and in hotels. and it helps stewards know exactly what you need. No awkward guessing. Now picture this. On a big cruise ship, there are thousands of towels in use every single day. Stewards have to collect them, haul heavy bags down endless hallways and sort them for laundry. One steward told me, "On a full ship, we can go through over 1,000 towels a day. That's a lot of heavy lifting, and it adds up fast." After collection, towels are loaded into industrial washers and dryers, which use tons of water, electricity, and detergent. Then, they're folded and delivered back to every single cabin. It's a never-ending cycle, and it's physically demanding work for the crew. Here's a quick stat. Reusing your towel just once can save up to 15 liters of water and a significant amount of energy per wash. Multiply that by thousands of guests, and the impact is huge. Less laundry means less water and power used, and fewer chemicals released into the ocean. Stewards have told me that guests who hang up their towels are their absolute favorites. It's a small gesture, but it shows you care about their workload and the environment. One steward said, "When I see towels hung up, I know the guest gets it and my back thanks them too." Here's a pro tip. If you need a fresh towel, just leave the used one on the floor or in the tub. Otherwise, hang it up and use it again. It's that easy. Guests who do this say it makes them feel good to help out and be eco-friendly. One guest told me, "We started reusing our towels after learning about the impact. It was so easy, and our steward actually thanked us at the end of the trip." Not only does this help your steward, but it also helps the entire crew keep the ship running smoothly. And let's be real, on a cruise, you're probably not getting that dirty anyway. Unless your towel is genuinely gross, hang it up and use it again. Your steward will secretly thank you, and so will the planet. So next time you're on a cruise, remember, reusing your towel is one of the easiest ways to make your steward's day, help the environment, and be a guest everyone appreciates. It's a win-win. Here's a tip that nearly every steward I interviewed emphasized. If you want your cabin sparkling and your steward smiling, try not to be in the room during cleaning. One steward told me, "It's so much easier to do a thorough job when the guest steps out, even just for a little while." When the room is empty, they can move quickly, clean every corner, and add those special touches you love. But when guests stay in the room, maybe working, napping, or getting ready, stewards have to tiptoe around, skip spots, and sometimes miss important details. One told me, "I once had to clean around a guest on a video call. I couldn't vacuum or change the sheets, and later they wondered why the room wasn't perfect." It's awkward for everyone, and it slows down the whole process. On the flip side, guests who step out for breakfast, a shore excursion, or just a walk make a steward's day so much easier. Stewards can clean thoroughly, restock everything, and even surprise you with towel animals or extra amenities. One guest told me, "Every time we came back from breakfast, our room felt brand new. It was like magic." Most stewards have a set routine: mornings for cleaning while guests are out, and evenings for turn-down service. If you're not sure when your room will be cleaned, just ask. "What time do you usually clean this hallway?" is a great question. That way you can plan to be out, and your steward can work efficiently. If you need to stay in the room, maybe you're not feeling well or have to take a call, just let your steward know. They can often come back later or swap your room with another on their list. Communication is key, and stewards really appreciate guests who keep them in the loop. Here's a pro tip. If you see your steward in the hallway, let them know when you'll be out. A quick, "Hey, I'll be gone from 9 to 11 if you want to clean then," makes their day so much easier. Stewards say these little heads-ups help them stay on schedule and give you the best service. Guests who coordinate with their stewards often return to a perfectly clean, peaceful cabin. No interruptions, no missed spots, just a fresh space to relax. One guest told me, "We always let our steward know our breakfast plans, and every day we came back to a spotless room and a little surprise on the bed." So next time you cruise, remember, stepping out during cleaning is a win for you, a win for your steward, and a win for everyone on board. A little planning and communication go a long way toward making your cruise experience and your steward's day absolutely amazing. All right, get ready for a seriously heartwarming tip. If you want to make your steward's entire week, or even their whole contract, leave them a handwritten thank you note. I've heard so many stories from stewards who say these notes are the most meaningful gifts they ever receive. It's not just a piece of paper, It's a reminder that their hard work matters and that someone truly noticed. In a world where we're all glued to our phones, a handwritten note stands out like a beacon. Stewards told me that when they find a note on the pillow or desk, it's like a little burst of happiness in their day. One steward said, "It's the first thing I show my friends when I get off shift." Another told me, "I keep every note in a special box in my locker. On tough days, I read them to remind myself why I love this job." One steward shared a story with me. She'd had a tough week, missing her family back home, feeling invisible. Then she found a note from a guest that simply said, "Thank you for making our vacation so special. We noticed all the little things you did." She said she kept that note in her wallet for months and even showed it to her children during a video call. Another steward told me he has a whole collection of thank you notes from over the years. On tough days, he reads them to remind himself why he loves his job. It's not about the money. It's about feeling seen and appreciated. So what should you write? It doesn't have to be long or fancy. Just a few genuine sentences can mean the world. For example, "Thank you for always keeping our room spotless and for the towel animals. You made our trip extra special." Or, "We appreciate your kindness and hard work every single day." One guest told me, "Writing that note was the highlight of our last night. We even let our kids draw a picture for our steward and she hung it up in the staff area." If you want to go the extra mile, mention something specific, maybe the way your steward remembered your name, or how they surprised your kids with towel animals. Personal touches mean the world. Some guests even write notes in the steward's native language or include a small drawing. These little details make the gratitude feel even more personal and lasting. Here's a pro tip. Pack a small notepad and a pen in your suitcase. On your last night, take 60 seconds to write a thank you note and leave it somewhere your steward will find it. On the pillow, the desk, or even taped to the mirror. You never know. The words you write might be exactly what your steward needs to hear that day. And trust me, you'll feel amazing knowing you made someone's day brighter. It costs you nothing, but to your steward, it can be absolutely priceless. Guests have told me that giving a thank you note was the most joyful part of their trip, especially when they saw their steward's face light up. So next time you cruise, don't just say thank you, write it down. You'll create a memory that lasts long after the ship sails home. Let's talk about something that can truly make or break your cruise experience: how much you pack. Stewards told me that overpacking is one of the biggest challenges they face. I heard stories of stewards squeezing between mountains of luggage just to make a bed. And one even joked, "Sometimes it feels like I'm playing hide and seek with suitcases." Overpacking doesn't just affect them, it affects you too. Cruise ship cabins are way smaller than most hotel rooms. There's usually only space for 1 or 2 big suitcases under the bed or in the closet. When you show up with 4 giant bags and a mountain of carry-ons, it turns your room into a maze. One steward told me, "I once had to climb over 3 suitcases just to reach the bathroom." Not only does it slow them down, but it can be a safety hazard for everyone. Overpacking can even be a safety hazard. Imagine if there's an emergency and you need to get out quickly. Giant suitcases blocking the walkway are a real problem. Stewards say that a tidy, clutter-free cabin helps them clean faster and more thoroughly, and it keeps you safer too. So what do stewards secretly wish you'd do? Pack smart. Use packing cubes to organize your clothes and only bring what you'll actually wear. If you're not sure, lay out everything you want to take, and then put half of it back. One guest told me packing light made our cabin feel twice as big, and our steward even thanked us for making their job easier. Here are some pro tips. Store your empty suitcases under the bed as soon as you've unpacked. This keeps the floor clear and makes it way easier for your steward to clean and for you to move around. If you're traveling with family, try to share suitcases or use collapsible bags that can be tucked away. The less clutter, the happier everyone will be. Infographic time. Here's a quick packing checklist. 1. Use packing cubes. 2. Bring only what you'll wear. 3. Share bags if possible. 4. Store luggage out of the way. And 5. Leave space for souvenirs. Guests who follow these tips say their cabins feel more spacious, and they enjoy their cruise so much more. Remember, your steward is there to help you have an amazing trip, not to play Tetris with your luggage. Packing light means a cleaner, safer, and more comfortable cabin for you, and a much easier day for your steward. Happy guests, happy crew. So next time you're getting ready for a cruise, ask yourself, do I really need all this stuff? Pack what you need, not your entire wardrobe, and everyone on board will thank you. Your steward will notice, and you'll enjoy a more relaxing, clutter-free vacation. This tip is absolutely crucial, and honestly, it's one of the most overlooked ways to show real respect for your cabin steward. Stewards work incredibly long hours, often behind the scenes, and their time off is precious. Imagine working a 12-hour shift, only to have your break interrupted by a non-urgent request. One steward, Elena, told me, "Sometimes my only chance to call my kids is during a short break. When a guest knocks for an extra towel at that moment, I miss that call." These moments matter more than you might think. I also heard from Raj, who said, "I once got woken up at 2 a.m. because a guest couldn't find the TV remote. It might seem small, but for us it means losing precious sleep or missing a quick call home." These interruptions add up and can leave stewards exhausted for the next day's work. Remember, your steward has a life outside of your cabin. They use their downtime to eat, rest, and recharge. Sometimes that's the only chance they get to video chat with their kids or catch up on sleep after a long day. One guest, Sarah, told me, "We always tried to wait until morning to ask for extra towels. Our steward thanked us and even left us a note saying how much he appreciated it." So, what can you do? If you need something late at night or outside normal hours, use the proper channels. Call guest services or the housekeeping number. Save non-urgent requests for the daytime, and try to plan ahead for things like extra towels or amenities. Guests who do this make a steward's day so much smoother. If you see your steward in the hallway and they look busy or on break, a simple smile and a thank you goes a long way. Respect their boundaries. Don't follow them into staff areas or interrupt their meals. Treat them the way you'd want to be treated after a long shift. I've seen guests wait patiently in the hallway, and the stewards always notice and appreciate that respect. One steward, Anna, shared, "When guests respect my break, I feel valued as a person, not just as staff. It motivates me to go the extra mile for them." These small gestures build trust and make your cruise experience better for everyone. When you respect your steward's time and privacy, you're not just making their job easier, you're helping them stay healthy, happy, and motivated to give you the best service possible. It's a win-win for everyone on board. So next time you cruise, remember, respecting your steward's time and privacy is one of the kindest things you can do. They'll notice, and trust me, they'll appreciate it more than you know. Tip number 12 is simple, but it's a game changer. Follow the ship's rules. I know rules aren't the most exciting thing, but trust me, they exist for a reason. Every sign you see, every announcement you hear is there to keep you and everyone else safe and happy. Every cruise line has a set of guidelines, like no smoking on balconies, attending the muster drill, and not bringing prohibited items on board. These aren't just for show. They're there to keep everyone safe, happy, and the ship running smoothly. I spoke to a steward who said, "The muster drill is the most important thing we do. It's not just a formality, it could save your life." For example, the muster drill isn't just a boring formality, it's a life-saving practice in case of an emergency. And that no smoking rule, fires at sea are a huge deal, and one careless moment can put hundreds of lives at risk. One guest told me, "I used to roll my eyes at the drills, but after seeing how seriously the crew takes it, I realized it's for everyone's good." Stewards shared stories about guests who ignored the rules, like sneaking food into the pool or leaving towels on the balcony railings. It might seem harmless, but it creates extra work and sometimes even dangerous situations for the crew. One time, a guest left a towel on the balcony and it blew overboard, causing a safety alert for the whole ship. When guests ignore the rules, it creates problems for everyone, and the crew has to deal with it. Stewards told me, "We want everyone to have fun, but we also want everyone to be safe. Following the rules helps us do our job and keeps the cruise running smoothly." One steward told me about a time when a guest propped open their cabin door to get some fresh air. Not only did it mess with the ship's air conditioning, but it also triggered a security alert. The crew had to spend hours sorting it out, and your cabin steward might be part of that cleanup crew. The stewards I spoke to said they really appreciate guests who follow the rules. It means less stress, fewer emergencies, and more time to focus on making your cruise awesome. When everyone follows the guidelines, we can add those special touches that make your trip memorable, one steward said. By being a rule-abiding passenger, you're not being boring, you're being a team player. You're helping the crew, your fellow guests, and yourself have a better experience. One guest told me, "I always ask if I'm not sure about a rule. The crew is happy to help, and it makes my trip stress-free." So here's my advice. Read the daily newsletter, pay attention to announcements, and if you're not sure about something, just ask your steward. They'd much rather answer a question than deal with a problem later. Staying informed is the easiest way to avoid trouble and enjoy your cruise to the fullest. You're contributing to a positive environment, and the crew definitely notices and appreciates it. When you follow the rules, you help create a safe, friendly, and fun atmosphere for everyone on board. Remember, following the rules isn't about being strict. It's about respect. Respect for the crew, your fellow passengers, and the amazing experience you're all sharing at sea. That's how you become a guest your steward secretly loves. If you want to make a cruise steward's entire year, here's the secret. Give them official positive feedback. This isn't just a nice gesture. It can literally change their life and career. I've heard from stewards who say a single comment from a guest has opened doors to promotions, bonuses, and even special awards. One steward, Anna, told me, "A guest once wrote that I made their anniversary cruise unforgettable. My supervisor read it out loud at our team meeting, and I was promoted a month later." Another steward, Raj, said, "A guest mentioned me by name in their survey, and I got a bonus that helped pay for my son's school fees." At the end of your cruise, you'll usually get a guest satisfaction survey. Sometimes it's a paper form, sometimes it's an email, or even a quick chat with a supervisor. Most people skip it, but this is your chance to make a real difference. When you mention your steward by name and share specific details, like, "Maria in cabin 1024 always greeted us with a smile and made the best towel animals," that feedback goes straight to their manager. It's not just a pat on the back, it's a golden ticket. Stewards told me these comments can lead to promotions, raises, and even special awards. I heard about a steward who was named Employee of the Month after a guest wrote a glowing review, and he celebrated with his team. Some stewards even keep thank you notes and feedback letters for years. They're that meaningful. Don't just say great service. Be specific. Mention what made your steward stand out. Maybe they remembered your birthday, always had extra towels ready, or just made you feel at home. The more details, the better. One guest told me, "We wrote about how our steward decorated our room for our anniversary, and she got a special certificate from the captain." It only takes 5 minutes, but your words can go into their permanent record and help them move up in their career. Some stewards have told me they read their favorite guest comments on tough days to remind themselves why they love their job. Your feedback is more powerful than you think. So next time you cruise, don't just say thank you. Write it down, tell their boss, and watch how your small act can create a ripple of happiness and opportunity for someone who truly deserves it. You might just be the reason your steward gets recognized, promoted, or even changes their life for the better. We've made it to the final habit, number 14, and honestly, it's the easiest but also the most powerful. Smile and be friendly. This simple act can transform your entire cruise experience, not just for you, but for everyone around you. I heard from stewards who said a single smile from a guest could turn their whole day around. One told me, "When a guest greets me with a big smile, I feel like my hard work is truly appreciated." It's contagious. Positivity spreads faster than you think. Think about it. When you greet your steward with a genuine smile and a warm hello, you're not just being polite. You're acknowledging them as a person, not just someone doing a job. Stewards told me that guests who smile and use their name are the ones they remember long after the cruise is over. One steward, Anna, shared, "There was a family who always greeted me with a cheerful good morning and a big smile. No matter how tired I was, seeing their faces made my day brighter. I wanted to go the extra mile for them." That's the ripple effect of kindness in action. Guests notice it too. I spoke to Mark, a frequent cruiser, who said, "We always make a point to smile and say hello to our steward." It's amazing how quickly the whole mood of the hallway changes. Other guests start smiling too, and the atmosphere just feels lighter. Your positive attitude doesn't just help your steward, it spreads to other guests and crew too. A friendly atmosphere on board makes the whole trip more enjoyable for everyone. It's contagious. When you're kind, others are more likely to pay it forward. Here's some practical advice. Smile when you see your steward in the hallway. Say please and thank you. Ask how their day is going. If you're feeling extra friendly, leave a little note or compliment at the end of your trip. These small gestures mean the world to them. One guest, Sarah, told me, "We left a thank you note and a smiley face on the mirror. Our steward left us extra chocolates and a towel animal the next day." These little acts create a chain reaction of happiness. Remember, your steward is away from their family for months at a time, working long hours to make your vacation special. A smile and a little kindness can be the highlight of their day, and yours too. Stewards told me that when guests are friendly, it makes the ship feel like a second home. It's not just a job, one said. It's a community, and guests are a big part of that. So on your next cruise, be the guest who brightens the room with a smile. You'll make memories, build connections, and help create a positive vibe that everyone will appreciate. It's the easiest tip on this list, but it just might be the most important. Try it out. Your steward, your fellow guests, and even you will feel the difference. Here's a bonus tip that many guests overlook. Stewards say it makes a world of difference. Respect cultural differences. Cruise stewards come from every corner of the globe: Philippines, Indonesia, India, Eastern Europe. Each steward brings their own traditions. Each steward brings their own language. Each steward brings their own perspective on life. When guests show even a little interest in their background, it means so much. Many stewards shared stories about guests who took the time to ask where they were from, or who learned to say thank you in their native language. One steward told me about a guest who asked about her favorite food from home, and even tried to make a small drawing of her country's flag. That made me feel seen and valued, not just as a worker, but as a person. These moments of cultural exchange don't just brighten a steward's day. They help create bonds that last long after the cruise is over. So here's how you can connect respectfully. Ask your steward about their home country, or ask about their favorite traditions. But always be polite and open-minded. Learn a greeting or thank you in their language. Salamat, terima kasih. Even just a simple phrase can spark a smile. And remember, what's normal for you might be different for them. So be patient and understanding in your interactions. By celebrating what makes each crew member unique, you're helping to build a more inclusive and joyful cruise experience for everyone. Try it on your next trip. You might just make a friend from the other side of the world. Here's one more tip that truly stands out. Be patient during busy times. Cruise stewards are masters at multitasking, especially on embarkation days and disembarkation days, when their workload skyrockets. Imagine having to refresh dozens of cabins, answer countless questions, and fulfill special requests all at once. It's a lot. Many stewards told me how much they appreciate guests who understand these crunch times. One steward remembered a family who needed extra towels right as new guests were boarding. Instead of getting frustrated, they smiled and said, "No rush, we know you're busy." That simple patience turned a stressful moment into a positive memory. So here's how you can help. Try to avoid non-urgent requests at peak times like first boarding or leaving the ship. If you do need something, tell your steward you understand they might need extra time. And if you can, plan ahead. Ask for extra toiletries or towels before the rush hits. A little patience goes a long way. It shows respect for the hard work your steward is doing behind the scenes, and it helps keep their day running smoothly. Remember, your understanding can turn a hectic day into a manageable one. That's a kindness every crew member will remember. That's a wrap. We've just revealed the top 14 habits your cruise cabin steward secretly loves. Simple things that turn you into the guest every crew member remembers. From leaving daily tips and keeping your cabin tidy, to greeting your steward by name and reusing towels, these small actions make a huge difference for the hardworking crew and for your own cruise experience. Remember to respect their time, follow the ship's rules, and always smile and be friendly. Every gesture, no matter how small, adds up to a better cruise for everyone on board. The crew members are truly the heart and soul of your vacation. Showing them appreciation isn't just nice, It's the secret to an unforgettable cruise. When you put these tips into action, you help create memories that last long after the ship sails home. Thank you so much for watching. What's your best cruise story, or your favorite way to show appreciation to the crew? Drop your stories in the comments below. And don't forget, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another adventure with us.